Welcome to this edition of the Coin Collector Spotlight. My name is Richard Bauer and I'm your host. And today I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming internationally known coin expert and accomplished best-selling author, Mr. Jeff Garrett. Welcome, Jeff. So great to have you visiting us.
Well, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Jeff, you're well known as the co-author of the best-selling book, 100 Greatest U.S. Coins. Many of the coins featured in that previous book date from the 1700s and the 1800s. Can you tell us why you chose to focus on modern U.S. coins for your new book?
Yes, I can. The first book I did was 100 Greatest United States Coins. And that book was basically coins like from the 1700s down up to like the 1930s primarily. And the problem with that book is the stories are great. Everyone, are very compelling stories, but most of the coins are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and some are in the millions actually. And one of the top coins in there is 1794 silver dollar, recently sold at auction for over $10 million. And I had a lot of collectors over the years that said they love my book, they love the stories, but they can't afford to buy the coins. So I started thinking about that, and I did some research, and I was trying to think of some ideas about it, and I pretty much really came to realize that a lot of modern coins have really good stories too, and they're very compelling, they're interesting, and the good thing about that is the modern coins, in a lot of cases, they're affordable. So I started looking for coins with good stories, trying to put together a list of ideas that would come up with the 100 greatest. And I was amazed. I'd always been dealing with old vintage coins, and it wasn't until I did this book that I realized how cool some of the stories are. And some of these coins can be bought for a few $100s. So I wanted to find some coins that had good stories, that had potential, and put them in a book so that people could appreciate it like a coffee table book that would be fun, but also something that's collectible. And I kind of call it, a lot of the guys that buy the great coins in the first 100 greatest book is trophy hunting for coin collecting. So I want to give the average collector something to go out and look for trophies.
While some of the coins featured in the 100 greatest U.S. modern coins are quite rare and expensive, I was struck by the fact that quite a few are actually within the reach of many collectors today. Can you focus on a few of your favorites that can be owned for, say, $1,000 or less?
Well, like I said before, it's the compelling stories, and when I went through and made the list and I started thinking about what kind of coins would be appropriate for the book, I started doing some of the research, and the stories are really, really interesting. And some of my favorites are, there are several double dies that are in the book, and some of the coins that are vintage coins are very, very expensive. Like a 1955 double die penny is tens of thousands of dollars in gem condition. But in 1995 and also in 1983 and 1984, the U.S. Mint made double dies, and the 1995 double die is very dramatic. The coins, you can see it easily with the naked eye. And that coin particularly is interesting to me because I remember 1995 when that coin was discovered, and like everyone around the country was like scurrying to try to find them. They were sending people to the banks, going through bags, and it was a story that instead of writing about something that I heard about, it was actually something I lived through, and I really enjoyed that part of it. And double dies, I think they're fascinating because a lot of people, they can collect Lincoln pennies, and it can be kind of a boring series till you get to a double die, and that's really pretty cool. Also, a lot of the commemoratives are really interesting. There's commemoratives that were made for the Olympics that have extremely low minages. Some of these coins have minages in the thousands instead of the millions, and those are very, very interesting from a collector standpoint. The desirability, and also they're kind of neat because some of them are like groundbreaking commemoratives. Like one of the most inexpensive coins in the book is the 1982 Washington quarter. Half dollar that was made for the anniversary for George Washington, and that coin was the very first of what they call the modern commemoratives. So it was groundbreaking. The Mint was starting something that it's a tradition that even continues now, but it was the very first one. That also reminds me of the American Silver Eagles, the 1986 Silver Eagle. The Silver Eagles have become probably the most collected coin, like surpassing Morgan dollars even. People love them, they buy them every year. In 1986, Silver Eagle was the very first one, so it was groundbreaking. The Mint came out with them, and that's a coin that you can buy for not thousands, but even a few $100s. So it's coins that all have really, really good stories. Some of them are because they're unique, they have low minages, and some of them are just because they're the first of a kind. So a lot of different reasons that make a good story, but a lot of these coins in this book have combination of those that really make them interesting in my mind.
Jeff, as you travel the country and talk to people about this book, what are some of the things that people ask you the most about regarding the coins in the book? Is it the design? Is it the rarity? Perhaps the story and history and intrigue about the coin? Or maybe it's popularity?
Well, as you can tell, I like telling stories about rare coins, and stories about coins are really the driving force. There is when people look about why is a coin worth millions of dollars, and it's not just rarity. In 1804 silver dollar, there are I think over a dozen of them known, and those coins sell for millions. And there's quite a few coins that you can buy, United States coins that are 10 known or 5 known. They sell for 5 or 10,000, but they don't have great stories attached to them. And it really is, it's what makes a coin great. It's not just how rare it is or the condition. It is a great, compelling story. And the 100 Greatest Modern is there are a lot of coins in there that have really, really good stories. And I'd say that's what it all comes down to. And it's the good thing about it is a person can read this book, they can find a story they like, and then they can go out and actually buy the coin. So that's really what makes it special, and why this book it's becoming one of my more popular books now, because the other one is it's like a big fantasy wish list. This is a book actually you can use as a guide to coin collecting.
Jeff, thank you again for sharing another compelling story about an incredible coin. And I want to thank you for joining us in this edition of our show.
Well, thanks for having me.
And I want to thank the rest of our viewers for joining us on this wonderful edition with our guest, Jeff Garrett of the Coin Collectors Spotlight. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.